Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt, reporting for the Sin Bin. This is going to be my most controversial video to date. And I made a video denouncing Kotkaniemi, calling him overrated. But put that all aside. This is now my most controversial video because it's about a controversial topic. Don Cherry. It's not the first time he's at the heart of controversy, and it's certainly not the last time. So, before I get into the video, let me just speak a little bit about myself. So, I have this hockey channel. I'm not yet at 1,000 subscribers. I'm working hard to get there. I get maybe around 100 views per episode. That's good for me. I'm slowly growing. Now, if you were to ask a lot of the quote-unquote hockey pundits on YouTube, why are they here? What was their inspiration? They will most likely say, the hockey guy. The hockey guy was my inspiration. He put on a camera, he started talking, going on about his jersey collections and hockey cards, whatever. I respect the hockey guy, but for me, it never really clicked. If you were to ask me who is my inspiration, what is the reason that I am talking to you today in a camera? Well, that reason is Don Cherry. Don Cherry is my idol. Why is that? Is it because I agree with what he says? No. I think that most of the time, when it comes to his hockey opinions anyway, I disagree. I think that he has an obvious Toronto Maple Leafs slant. I think that he has an obvious Boston Bruins slant. And as a Canadiens fan, that's just bad news for me. So why do I like Don Cherry? Why was he my inspiration? Because if you look at Coach's Corner, the segment on CBC, later went to Rogers. If you look at Coach's Corner and you hear Don Cherry's talk, whether you agree with his opinion or not, you can't deny the fact that he has passion. And what inspired me most of all of Don Cherry wasn't really what he was saying. It's how he was saying it. Oddly enough as it sounds, I thought that the passion he brought, it really showed that he was a guy who cared about hockey, first of all. He cared about the hockey players, and most importantly, he cares about Canadians. And that's a good segue into what's going on today. So, in case you guys don't know, don't worry. I'm going to go through everything. Yesterday, there was a Coach's Corner segment, and it was pretty controversial because, as usual, Don Cherry pays tribute to the military. Since it's the month of November in Canada, we give respect to the military. And he said this, I'll put the quote above. You people, you love our way of life. You love our milk and our honey. At least you can pay a couple of bucks for a poppy or something like that. These guys paid for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price. So when I watched that, obviously, it didn't really offend me because, spoiler alert, I agree with him. But regardless of that, when I watched him say those words, when I watched him utter those words, I turned to my friend right off and I said, something's going to come of this. Someone, somewhere, is going to get offended. I mean, it's 2019. Of course someone's going to get offended. Let me just take a sip here. I'm not going to do any takes or anything like that. I'm just going to put the camera and speak my thoughts. So I knew right off the bat, some people were going to get emotional over Don Cherry's takes. Now, to understand what he really means, Don Cherry, we first have to look at the history of Canadians in the military. So, when the Canadians fought in World War I, they fought on a battleground called Flanders Fields. When I was in school back in Canada, they taught us a poem called In Flanders Fields. And every month of November, we had to go and read that poem and so on and so forth. So, the first sentence of that poem, it's, in Flanders Field, the poppies grow. So, for you wondering, what are these flowers, poppies? Why are they so important? When the military, the vets, they went to the battleground, they died. Their bodies laid in Flanders Field, their blood got soaked into the poppy. And now, when we see the poppies, we think of that bright red colored flower. That's because of the blood of Canadians. We literally have the blood of Canadians on our hearts. Because we respect those who had to give up their lives so that I can sit here with you with a belly full of spaghetti and a warm shirt and, so we can sit here comfortably. I have tremendous respect for those people. I have tremendous respect for Don Cherry for what he said. So as I said, some people out there, they're going to get offended. They're not going to like it. Why did they get offended? So I hear a lot of people saying that they didn't like the fact that he used the words, you people. You people. I'll get to that later. Second of all, I heard a lot of people say that overall, the statement was pretty anti-immigrant. He seemed like he was very against immigrants. I have another issue with that statement, but I'll get to it later. For now, Twitter kind of exploded all day. Sportsnet came out with a statement. I'll put it above here. They said Don's discriminatory comments are offensive and they do not represent our values and what we stand for as a network. We have spoken with Don about the severity of this issue, and we sincerely apologize for these divisive remarks. And that was said by Bart Yabsley, president of Sportsnet. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Mr. Yabsley may be an immigrant himself, judging by his name. What is that? Israeli? I don't know, but he may be an immigrant. That's beside the points. So Sportsnet, they talked to Don Cherry, kind of gave him a slap on the wrist. Do I think he's going to get fired over it? Not really. I mean, with Don Cherry, as I said, controversy, it's something that's usual with him. He's notorious for his controversies. It's not the first time he gets slapped on his wrist. I mean, in 2001, was it? He went on this, this pro-military rant where he said that the Canadians troops should go into Iraq to fight with the Americans. And then Ron MacLean kind of defended the other point of view. If one were to say Don Cherry is a right-winger, then I think it's also safe to say that Ron MacLean is on the other side. And that made for a lot of entertainment over the years on Coach's Corner. But all that being said, he's in trouble right now with Twitter. A lot of people are calling for his head. A lot of people are saying he's a dinosaur. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This is anti-immigrant. This is so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to Don Cherry, I feel like I've watched this guy so much, I can read his brain. I can read his thoughts. Does he have any malicious in these comments? No. People are twisting his words into saying he's anti-immigrant when all that he should be accused of being is pro-Canadian. That's right. This man has so much respect for the military that despite complaining every single episode that he doesn't have enough time to talk about Mike Smith's save or Mike Riley's goal, he dedicated some time of his segments to show him walk through the cemetery in France where all of the Canadians' soldiers died. This guy isn't anti-immigrant. He's pro-Canadian. Don't fucking put words in the guy's mouth. I'm sorry for my tone of voice. I'm getting a little emotional here because it's happened to me in the past. I would say something and it gets twisted into something else. I think Shea Weber has a poor contract. Well, you don't like the Canadians. You're not a Canadians fan. No, that's not what I said. I'm not anti-Canadians. I'm just anti-Shea Weber contract. Same thing for Don Cherry. He's not anti-immigrant. He is pro-Canadian. He's always been pro-Canadian. Look at all of the coaches' corners throughout the years. How many times do I hear him say, that's a good Irish boy? Oh, Brendan Gallagher, good Irish boy. Joe Blow McKenna from across the street, good Irish boy. Last time I checked, Irish people are immigrants. Are we Ireland? No, we're Canada. Oh, but we only call him out when he's anti-immigration. God, some people, I swear to God, they go through life and they're like, how can I get offended today? I need a reason. Oh, Don Cherry said something slightly offensive. That's it. I have my purpose now. Grow up. Please remove the penis from your anus and grow the fuck up. Now you might say, I'm over emotional. I'm not making any sense. I'm wrong. Well, luckily for you, I've done my research. Because this isn't the first time Don Cherry's been accused of being anti-immigration. I would like to turn your heads towards this YouTube clip. This was an interview in 1990 that Don Cherry had with the Fifth Estate. And the interviewer, who did a very poor job in my opinion, if you listen to the full interview, I really recommend it. I'll probably link it in the description. He accuses him of being anti-immigrant. Look what Don Cherry says. Guys, please listen to this. This is very important.
Earning the dough. This is what I hear from.
Are you a safety valve for people who are stewing about all kinds of stuff, or are you dangerous?
I don't know whether I'm dangerous. I just say what I think, and it's the way I think. You could say it's bigotry if you want. I don't think it is. I'm pro-Canadian, more so than I'm anti-Soviet or anti-Swede. I wish more Canadians were like me.
That really plays.
Okay, there you have it. He says it. I am pro-Canadian, more so than anti-Swede or anti-anything. Unfortunately, because of the world we live in, people are making him out to be the opposite. They're making him out to be anti-Swede, anti-Soviet, when they fail to see that this guy loves his country. He's willing to dedicate minutes from his very short segment that's getting shortened over the years. He's willing to dedicate it to pay homage to the soldiers that died for us. I mean, if there's not every episode where he brings up a soldier that died recently, who the fuck thanks him? No one. Well, I'm here. I'm here to thank you, Don, because I believe in you. Now, as I said, this sparked a huge explosion on Twitter. I think hashtag Poppygate is a thing now. So why don't we go through a few of the tweets, and I'm going to explain why I think they're wrong or why I think they're right. So let's go on here. Peter Leventis. Let me just take a sip of my soda. He says that hashtag Don Cherry is spouting out BS on Hockey Night in Canada about no one in downtown Toronto wearing a poppy seed. False. Come to Toronto and open your eyes. Time to retire Don Cherry. So that brings another point. Don Cherry's statements, they were based on observations. They were based on anecdotes. Is it good to make a statement based on anecdotes? Not always. But I can tell you what, it's not good to get offended over it either. So a lot of people are calling him out. They say, you know, what he said, it's just observations. It's nothing but reality. But then the argument that they come out with, it's observations. I mean, look at this guy. Don Cherry says he walks downtown, there's no poppy seed. This guy says, false. I walk downtown, there is poppy seeds. So it's just a battle of anecdotes. This isn't based on any pure studies or informations. To know whether Don Cherry was right or wrong, we would have to do a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial or whatever, and we would survey immigrants from all over the planet, and we would see their true intention. So don't call him out for being anecdotal when the only counter-argument you have is anecdotal! It makes no goddamn sense. It makes me nauseous. I'm nauseous as fuck. Now, immigrants. Some people have said, I don't really look like I'm an immigrant. Okay, I get that a lot. And some people, on the other hand, they say I look Mexican, they say I look Italian. So, believe it or not, my mother came here from Syria. My grandparents came here from Syria. My grandmother on my dad's side came from America. So, I have a big family of immigrants. If you look at the immigrants today, I'm just speaking from logic here. I'm not saying any facts. I'm speaking from logic. When they come into Canada, are they taught about what the poppy seed, or the poppy flower rather, symbolizes? Are they taught about the world wars? Are they taught about the sacrifice the soldiers had to make? No. So when they see people in the streets wearing a poppy, they're relatively new. They have no idea what it is. It's only normal that they're not wearing it. They're probably thinking, I'm not putting that on. What is that, a dumb fashion statement? I'm not putting that on. So they don't put it on. So what Don Cherry, I think, was trying to say is that given the status that they are, immigrants, they're new to this country, they don't know what it is. He says, pay respect to the soldiers and buy a poppy. Another point I had is that when I was reading Twitter, I'm a big fan of the Canadians, as you guys well know. Who do I follow on Twitter? Jack Todd, Stu Cowan, Connor McKenna. God, I can't stand him. I think he's only on the radio because he has a nice voice. They're all anti Don Cherry at this point. I mean, Connor McKenna, he said, well, Sportsnet apologized, but Don Cherry didn't say a word. Stu Cowan says this is a disgrace. Why did he say that? And Jack Todd, I don't know what the hell's wrong with Jack Todd. He is just a miserable follow. Anyway, they're all saying that this is wrong. This is wrong. Fire him. This brings me to another point. I have made videos where people don't like me. Maybe it's my voice. I admit I sound a little nasally. Maybe it's my face. I admit I have a punchable face. I can't do anything about it. Maybe it's the fact that I think farts are funny and I constantly do fart jokes. Whatever it may be, if you don't like me, you don't have to watch my videos. I'm not pointing a gun to your head and telling you, hey, watch my video. No! If you don't like me, go to the top right corner and there's this thing. It's a red X. Click the red X and I'll disappear. I know, guys, it's a great invention. It's like if you don't like something, press the red X and disappear. Same thing with Don Cherry. If you don't like Coach's Corner and he annoys you, guess what? During the intermission, don't watch it. Go to your room, take it up the ass by your wife who has a strap on, whatever you do in your spare time. You don't have to watch him. Don't call for him to be fired. Because guess what, you chicken heads? I watch him. It's my favorite part of the hockey games. When he comes on, I tell all of my guests, guys, shut up. This is Don Cherry. We all have to be quiet. I want to hear him. And now I'm not going to be able to see him because you assholes got offended by a paragraph he said. Why do I have to pay for it? You don't like it. Be a fucking adult. Don't watch it. Am I out of the ordinary here? I was taught at an early age, sticks and stones, they may break your bones, but words will never harm you. If you don't like Don Cherry's words, don't watch it! Let's go through some more tweets here. God, I'm getting sweaty. Falacio Volp says, let's be clear about hashtag Don Cherry. He's Canada's Archie Bunker. By the way, I really like that show. And he should have been off the air 35 years ago. He's a bigot who shields his bullshit and a phony patriotism. Immigrants like my parents love this country. They chose it in spite of people like him. Fire or retire. So again, fire or retire. Why does he need to be fired? Mr. Volpe, if that's your real name, if you don't like him, don't watch him. Tell him and your lovely immigrant parents to not watch him. And also, another important thing, guys. I'm just thinking of this as I go along. I apologize, I'm not very organized. I apologize of the quality of my language. But when he says you people, that's another thing people got offended. God, why do people get offended? So he says you people. The way I interpreted it, okay, the way I took it, you people, it's the same as saying whoever it may concern. You people who do not wear the poppy, this is what I'm about to say, it's for you. If you do wear the poppy, then block your ears. That's what you people mean. My aforementioned family of immigrants, they wore the poppy. They would watch Don Cherry saying this, and they would say, okay, well, this got nothing to do with me. I hope the other people listen. That's what they would say. They wouldn't get their panties up in a knot. And that brings me to my next point. I'm going through all of these tweets. Who are the guys getting offended? John Smith, Peter McKay. It's all Canadian people. it seems like the people getting the less offended is the immigrants. Because think about it. The Syrian immigrants, right now, they're in a state of crisis. Their country is going through a civil war. They're waking up every single morning with missiles landing into their backyard. I'm not making that up. I went to Israel. My tour guide says he lives right on the Gaza Strip. Every single month, there's a missile alarm that goes off. They have to go hide in their basement. Sometimes missiles come into their backyard. And he says it's so bad that his kids listen to the news and they hear that things are heating up. They won't go take a shit. They won't go shower because they don't want to have to interrupt their shower and go to the bomb shelter butt-ass naked. That's how bad it is in this country. Do you think when they come here, after all of that shit that they've seen, they watch an old man on Coach's Corner and they get offended? No! They have bigger fish to fry. It's only the Canadian people that are getting offended. I mean, these immigrants, they came to Canada. They had to go through war. They have to swim through a river of shit. They had to suck on orange peels as to avoid syphilis. I don't know that for a fact, but my point being is that they've been through a lot. They don't care what Don Cherry says. They probably don't even watch hockey. Stop trying to care for them because they don't care. All right, next tweet. Nafiza Kareem. Nothing worth listening to ever starts with the words, you people. So again, you people. Don Cherry is saying, whoever it may concern. This is what I'm about to say. Whoever it may concern, you people. I don't know Nafiza Kareem. I'm going to guess you're some type of Middle Eastern. I don't know what you do in life. But if you get offended over the word you people, you don't deserve to drive a car. You don't deserve to be a functioning citizen in this nation. How are we going to get offended by you people? How are we going to function as a nation? I mean, we're just going to crumble. If my grandfather were living today, he would look at this society and he says, what happened? We all got pussified. I came here, we were proud. We respected the military. And now we don't. We don't wear military berets anymore. We wear pink pussy hats. It's not a good thing. So in conclusion, you may have realized in the thumbnail, I say, I love you, Don. Because it's true. I do love you. I mean, I don't have a bunch to do here in Bangor, Maine. Bangor, Maine, it's synonym for buttfuck Maine. There's nothing to do. So what do I do in my spare time? I watch hockey. I talk about it. And I probably wouldn't have the guts to talk about it if not for Don Cherry. Don Cherry is my idol. I really don't wish he gets fired over something stupid like this, guys. Even if you disagree with me, take this lesson. If someone says something that bothers you, if you're listening to a video that bothers you, if you disagree with anything in life, don't accuse the guy of being anti-immigrant. Don't accuse the guy of not being a fan of whatever it may be. Don't throw out any accusations. You know what you do? You go in the comments, respectfully, you explain why you disagree. You explain that, oh, well, Don Cherry, I think that I disagree because so and so and so and so. And if you don't have the balls to do that, if you're too much of a pussy to have a respectful argument with people, if it's just not in you, scroll away. Leave the couch when Coach's Corner comes out. Put HBO's Girls, whatever you watch. Just don't watch it. Ignore it. This nation is better, guys. Canada is the greatest country on earth. Do you think we got to the point of being the greatest country on earth by getting offended over stupid things like this? No. No. We are stronger than this. I mean, I laugh when I see people saying, oh, well, this ethnicity, they didn't get nominated at the Oscars, and so-and-so race didn't get nominated at this. I mean, why is this such a problem? I mean, if that's the biggest of your worries, that just shows how privileged we are to be in this country. So here I am, sitting down in front of a camera. I got my Budweiser red light. I got orange soda and various assortments of pastas. I'm a big fan of cooking. And I don't know if this video will ever reach Don Cherry. I doubt it. You know, one thing I will say, he's on the older side. I don't know how much he navigates through YouTube. But if it does, Don, I just wanted to say I love you. I know you had zero bad intentions. I know I truly mean this when I say it. You would take a bullet for any Canadian. You love Canadians. You don't hate immigrants. You just love Canadians. And so do I. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little rant. Again, it wasn't organized. If I wanted something more organized, I would have put bullet points or any type of notes next to me. But no, I wanted to speak from the heart. I think that one thing that made Don Cherry great is that he spoke from the heart. And while I'll never get to the same levels as Don Cherry ever in my life, I do try to follow him in some respects. Also, the video I posted on Don Cherry, I saw a lot of people. You wrote really beautiful comments, guys. Those were some great comments. Keep sharing your stories. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and we can keep the discussion going. And I know I speak from the heart, guys. I know sometimes I say stuff that it pisses people off. Don't fight fire with fire. Tell me why you disagree. In the comments, say, Matt, I agree with you because of this. Matt, I disagree with you because of this. Matt, I think you look like the heir of George Clooney. But you don't have to write that. I think we all know it by now. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And as per usual, my name is Matt. Keep your stick on the ice. And bye fucking Poppy.